Imagine the universe as a giant web of connections, where everything is tied together by invisible threads. Every thought, every event, every choice we make becomes part of a larger design that shapes our lives. According to Hermetic philosophy, especially the sixth Hermetic Principle, this design follows a universal truth, the law of cause and effect. This law tells us that everything that happens has a cause. And every cause produces an effect. What many people label as luck or coincidence is simply the result of a chain of events we didn't fully see or understand. In the Hermetic text the Kybalion, it stated clearly, "Every cause has its effect, every effect has its cause." Chance is but a name for a law not recognized. This idea changes how we view life. Rather than seeing ourselves as victims of chance, we start recognizing ourselves as participants in a complex system of cause and effect, where our thoughts, actions, and decisions matter more than we often realize. Let's go deeper. When something unexpected happens, we often say, "That was random," or "I got lucky." But in reality, everything has a cause, whether it's visible or not. Even events that seem completely accidental are part of a larger chain of interactions. There are also different levels of causality. Most people focus only on the physical level, action and reaction. But Hermeticism teaches that mental and emotional causes are often more powerful. For example, consider someone who speaks harshly out of anger. That angry comment didn't just happen on its own, it was rooted in a deeper cause, a thought, a belief, or an emotional trigger. That reaction then causes more effects, maybe an argument, maybe distance in a relationship. The cycle continues. This principle reminds us that our mental and emotional state is where many causes begin. Our thoughts, beliefs, and feelings act as the seeds. And over time, those seeds grow into real-world results. By recognizing this, we move from reacting to life to creating it with intention. Another important idea in Hermetic philosophy is this: there are no accidents in the universe. The concept of chance is just a placeholder for causes we can't see. Let's take a simple example: rolling a die. To us, it may look like random luck. But if we understood the exact force used to throw the die, the air resistance, the angle, and the bounce, we could predict the result. It's just a matter of data we don't have access to. The same is true in daily life. A job offer, a breakup, a sudden illness, these may seem random, but they all have causes. Some may come from years ago. Some may be the result of mental or emotional patterns we've repeated. The causes are always there. The deeper we understand this, the more responsible we become for the direction of our lives. This is where the science of causality comes in. In classical physics, Newton's third law says, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. That's basic cause and effect. But quantum physics introduces more complexity. For example, quantum entanglement shows that two particles can affect each other instantly, even when they're far apart. That challenges our normal understanding of how cause and effect work. It suggests that causality isn't always linear, and that invisible connections exist beyond time and space. Hermeticism aligns with this idea. It teaches that reality operates on multiple planes: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, and that causes on one level can produce effects on another. For example, persistent negative thinking can lead to physical illness. Long-term emotional stress can result in chronic fatigue. On the other hand, cultivating thoughts of gratitude and compassion can lead to improved well-being and stronger relationships. This brings us to the idea of karma, cause and effect applied to the soul's journey. In Sanskrit, the word karma means action. But spiritually, karma refers to the total set of consequences produced by our actions, thoughts, and intentions. It's not just about what we do, but how we do it. For instance, helping someone with a desire to be praised carries a different karmic weight than helping from genuine compassion. Karma is about energy, intention, and alignment with universal truth. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, "Action is inevitable. But the wise act without attachment to the results of their actions. This is important. We can't avoid creating causes, we act every day. But what we can do is become more aware of the energy behind our actions. Karma also teaches us that effects don't always appear immediately. Sometimes, they unfold over years. Or even over lifetimes. Hermeticism acknowledges this broader timeline. It suggests that our current circumstances may be shaped by causes we initiated in the distant past, not just in this life, but possibly before. This doesn't mean we're doomed to suffer for past mistakes. Instead, it gives us an opportunity to grow. Karma is not punishment, it's a learning system. It returns to us the energy we've put out, not to harm us, but to teach us and help us realign. This principle is deeply empowering. Once we accept that our current reality is the result of causes we've set in motion, we also gain the ability to create new causes. From this perspective, we are no longer victims of life, we are its authors. And this is the heart of the law of cause and effect. Understanding that you are the creator of your experiences is only the first step. The real power comes when you start using the law of cause and effect consciously, when you take your thoughts, actions, and intentions, and align them with what you truly want to experience. But to do this, we need clarity. Ask yourself, what am I experiencing right now in life, and what internal causes may have contributed to it? Whether it's financial stress, relationship struggles, or poor health, the principle tells us that these are not random. They are reflections of choices, beliefs, or habits, some conscious, others deeply rooted in the subconscious. This isn't about guilt or self-blame. It's about self-inquiry. When we see clearly, we can begin to shift. Let's break down how this principle can be used intentionally in daily life. Your inner world is the starting point for outer results. The thoughts you think most often, whether empowering or disempowering, are seeds. Over time, those seeds produce outcomes. If you constantly think, "I'm not good enough," you may unconsciously avoid opportunities, sabotage your growth, or choose relationships that reinforce that belief. By shifting your thoughts to, "I am capable," and reinforcing that belief through action, you begin to plant new seeds, ones that create different effects. The key is consistency. One positive affirmation won't overwrite years of negative self-talk. But repeated, focused effort can rewire your mental patterns and eventually alter your external reality. Thoughts generate emotions, and emotions generate energy. The emotional frequency you carry, whether joy, anger, gratitude, or fear, shapes how you respond to life, and what experiences you attract. Let's take two people facing the same setback. One responds with blame and frustration. The other responds with reflection and adjustment. The outcomes they create will be very different. Learning to regulate your emotions doesn't mean suppressing them. It means becoming aware of them, understanding their origin, and choosing how to act from that awareness. Once your inner world begins to shift, align your actions with it. Actions are the physical extension of internal causes. They make your thoughts and emotions tangible. A person who values discipline starts showing up early, setting priorities, and following through. These consistent behaviors generate new effects, more trust from others, better opportunities, and a stronger sense of self. It's important to remember that small, repeated actions are more powerful than occasional grand gestures. Brushing your teeth daily keeps them clean, not doing it for 5 hours once a month. Likewise, showing up for your goals, relationships, and self-care regularly has a compounding effect over time. Let's return to the idea of karma, but from a practical lens. Imagine a manager who leads with compassion and honesty. Even if their team doesn't always meet expectations, they tend to build loyalty, trust, and cooperation. That manager is sowing karmic seeds, not just for external results, but for internal peace. Now, imagine another manager who uses fear and manipulation. They might achieve short-term success, but over time, relationships will break down. That's karma, too. Karma isn't about instant payback, it's about energetic alignment over time. The vibration you emit through intention, action, and integrity shapes what returns to you. This applies not only to individuals but to families, organizations, and societies. Nations that sow division and exploitation eventually face unrest and imbalance. Those built on cooperation and justice tend to create more resilience and trust. Often, we find ourselves trapped in cycles, repeating the same kinds of relationships, the same struggles, the same emotional reactions. These are known as karmic loops or causal loops. To break them, the first step is awareness. Ask, what pattern am I repeating? What choices keep leading me here? What belief or emotion is driving these choices? Once identified, the next step is to act differently. Even a small shift, a new response, a conscious pause, or an intentional no begins to disrupt the pattern. With consistency, you rewrite the causal chain and create space for a different outcome. The ultimate goal of understanding this law is to become the primary cause in your life, rather than just reacting to external effects. This doesn't mean controlling every detail. Life will still bring surprises, challenges, and unknowns. But it does mean that your inner state becomes your anchor. You start asking, what energy am I putting out? What actions align with the future I want to create? What am I willing to change today? The difference between being at the effect of life and being a cause in life is everything. It's easy to fall into the trap of judging ourselves when we realize we created certain outcomes. But judgment keeps us stuck in guilt. Responsibility, on the other hand, is empowering. Instead of thinking, I messed everything up, ask, what can I do now, knowing what I know? That shift, from blame to action, is where real transformation begins. The law of cause and effect is not here to limit us. It's here to liberate us. It teaches that we don't need to wait for the world to change. We can start by changing ourselves. As Eliphaz Levi said, he who knows the law does not complain of it, he uses it. And as the Buddha taught, what you are today is the result of your thoughts yesterday. What you will be tomorrow depends on your thoughts today. This law is already working in your life, whether you know it or not. The question is, are you using it consciously? Everything you experience is an effect. And every moment is a chance to plant a new cause. You don't need to change everything overnight, just start with one thought, one habit, one choice. Let those ripple out, and watch what begins to shift. Because when you understand that you are the cause, life stops happening to you, and starts happening through you. Thank you for watching.